Right now, as you watch this, thousands of people are spending money on the wrong immigration pathway. They're chasing routes that are backlogged for years, or visa categories that were quietly closed, or scam websites that take your money and disappear overnight. But here's what most people are not being told. In 2026, there are still 3 fully legal, government-backed pathways to move to the United States, and each one is actively accepting applicants right now. One of them gives you a permanent green card. One of them costs you absolutely nothing to enter, and one of them just received a massive expansion by the US government, adding over 64,000 additional slots for 2026 alone. Stay with me for the next 12 minutes, because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which pathway fits your situation, what to do next, and how to avoid the most dangerous mistakes people make when trying to come to the United States legally. My name is Raymond Crivello. I'm a senior immigration analyst and consultant, and on this channel, I break down complex immigration developments into clear, fact-based analysis you can actually understand. This is not a rumor channel. This is not a channel built on fear. Everything I break down here is grounded in official USCIS policy, State Department data, and verified legal frameworks. I don't guess, I analyze. Before we go any further, a necessary disclaimer. I am not your attorney, and this content is for educational and informational purposes only. Your immigration journey is unique. Always consult with a licensed immigration attorney about your specific case. Now, let's get into it. The first pathway is the one I want to spend the most time on, because it is the most misunderstood and arguably the most powerful option for people who do not have a university degree. This is the EB-3, Employment-Based Third Preference Visa, specifically the Other Workers subcategory. Now here's why this matters. The EB-3 Other Workers pathway leads directly to a United States permanent resident card, what most people call a green card. Not a temporary stay, not a work permit that expires in 3 years, a permanent green card. So who qualifies? This is where most people are shocked. The EB-3 Other Workers subcategory is specifically designed for positions requiring less than 2 years of training or experience. That includes roles in housekeeping, warehousing, food processing, general labor, and dozens of other occupational categories that U.S. employers are actively struggling to fill. Here's where this becomes critical. The employer must sponsor you. That means a U.S. company must file a perm labor certification on your behalf. That's the process where the Department of Labor verifies there are no qualified U.S. workers available for that role. Once that is approved, your employer files a Form I-140, the Immigrant Petition for Alien Workers, on your behalf. Now, and this is the detail many people are missing, you do not need to be in the United States to start this process. Employers who are registered on platforms like EB-3 Work are specifically looking for international candidates to sponsor from abroad. Let me give you a realistic example. Imagine Maria. She's 29, lives in the Philippines, has a high school diploma, and has spent the last 5 years working in hotel housekeeping. She's been told repeatedly that she can't come to the United States because she has no college degree. She believes she has no options. Maria finds an employer on EB-3 Work, a hotel chain in Arizona that cannot fill their housekeeping department. That employer files her perm certification. Her I-140 gets approved. She waits for her priority date to become current on the visa bulletin, and then she files for her immigrant visa at the U.S. consulate in Manila. A year and a half later, Maria lands in Phoenix as a lawful permanent resident of the United States. This is not a fantasy. This is the EB-3 Other Workers pathway working exactly as Congress designed it to work under the Immigration and Nationality Act. The important warning here, there are many scam recruiters who charge thousands of dollars and promise guaranteed EB-3 sponsorship. The official USCIS process does not require you to pay a recruiter. The employer pays the petition fees. If someone is asking you for money upfront to secure an EB-3 sponsor, that is a red flag. Now I want to pause here, because there is one detail most people completely overlook about the second pathway we're about to discuss. And this detail is costing people their only chance at a free, legal route to the United States. The second pathway is the Diversity Visa Lottery. And let me say this clearly right now. Registration for the Diversity Visa program is completely free. There is no cost to enter, $0. Every year, the U.S. State Department makes up to 55,000 immigrant visas available through random selection to people from countries that are historically underrepresented in U.S. immigration. This is authorized under Section 203C of the Immigration and Nationality Act, and it is one of the most legitimate and accessible pathways the U.S. government offers. Here is where the 2026 cycle stands right now. The DV 2026 registration period has already closed, but results are scheduled to become available beginning in May 2025, and selectees have until the end of the federal fiscal year to process their visas and move to the United States in 2026. If you are watching this and you registered, go check your status at dvprogram.state.gov right now. And this is what many green card applicants are misunderstanding about the diversity visa. Being selected does not mean you have a green card. Selection is step one. You still need to complete a consular interview, pass medical examinations, provide documentation, and be found admissible under U.S. immigration law. Selectees who miss deadlines, fail to provide documentation, or use fraudulent information are disqualified, and that disqualification can have permanent consequences. The fraud problem here is significant, and I want you to understand this. There are hundreds of websites and social media accounts that charge money to submit your DV application or guarantee your selection. None of them can do what they claim. The U.S. government charges nothing and guarantees nothing except a fair, random selection. If you paid anyone money to register for the diversity visa, you were likely scammed. For DV 2027, the registration window typically opens in October. I will cover that cycle in a future video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that update. However, here is what even immigration-savvy viewers are often not aware of, and it concerns the third pathway on our list. This protection may not be permanent. This expansion has a deadline, and if you qualify, moving quickly could be the difference between getting in and missing your window entirely. The third pathway is the H-2B temporary work visa, and in 2026, the U.S. government made a significant decision that directly impacts how many people can use it. The standard H-2B program has a congressionally mandated annual cap of 66,000 visas. That cap fills extremely fast, often within weeks of the application window opening. But for fiscal year 2026, the Department of Homeland Security and USCIS exercised their authority under the H-2B statute to release a supplemental allocation of an additional 64,716 visas. This is a major development. That brings the effective total for 2026 to over 130,000 H-2B slots, nearly double the base cap. Now, the H-2B is a non-immigrant visa. This is important to understand. You are coming to the United States temporarily to perform seasonal or peak need work. You are not receiving a green card through this pathway directly. Jobs that typically qualify include landscaping, hospitality, amusement parks, seafood processing, and other industries with seasonal labor demands. This could affect you even if you weren't previously considering a temporary visa, because the H-2B can serve as a legitimate entry point into the U.S. labor market, and some workers do subsequently transition to other visa categories, including permanent resident pathways, through a separate and independent process after establishing themselves here. The official job board for finding H-2B sponsoring employers is seasonaljobs.dal.gov. That is a U.S. Department of Labor website. It lists verified employers who are actively seeking H-2B workers and are prepared to file the required petitions. This is one of the most fraud-resistant ways to find legitimate H-2B opportunities because the employers listed there have already been vetted by the federal government. The critical warning for this pathway: H-2B workers must return home when their authorized period of stay ends. Overstaying your H-2B authorization is a serious immigration violation with long-term consequences, including bars on future admission. The H-2B is powerful, but only if you use it lawfully. Now let me give you a practical action plan. Whether you are pursuing the EB-3, the diversity visa, or the H-2B, these 5 steps apply to everyone. Step 1. Verify your eligibility on official government websites only. For EB-3, that is USCIS.gov. For the diversity visa, that is dvprogram.state.gov. For H-2B employers, that is seasonaljobs.dal.gov. These are the only sources that matter. Step 2. Gather and organize your documentation right now. Birth certificates, passports, educational records, employment history, and any previously approved visa petitions. Immigration processes move faster when your documentation is already organized. Step 3. Do not violate your current immigration status. If you are already in the United States on any visa, maintain your lawful status. Any status violation can jeopardize your eligibility for future immigration benefits. Step 4. Protect yourself from fraud. No one can guarantee a green card, a visa approval, or a lottery win. If someone is asking you for money in exchange for immigration guarantees, walk away immediately and report it to the Federal Trade Commission at ftc.gov. Step 5. Consult a licensed immigration attorney before filing any petition. Your case has specific facts. An attorney can identify risks and opportunities that a general video, including this one, simply cannot address for your individual situation. Now I want to give you the honest policy picture, because the immigration environment in 2026 is dynamic, and I want you to plan with realistic expectations. The EB-3 Other Workers Pathway is a permanent statutory creation of Congress under the INA. It does not disappear overnight. However, visa bulletin retrogression, meaning the monthly movement of priority dates, can slow or even temporarily reverse progress depending on demand in your country of birth. Countries with high demand like India, China, Mexico, and the Philippines often see longer wait times even after I-140 approval. The H-2B supplemental cap authorization is an executive action by DHS under existing statutory authority. It is renewable but not guaranteed each year. Future administrations could reduce or eliminate supplemental allocations. If you are eligible for H-2B in 2026, this window is real, but it is not a permanent promise. The diversity visa lottery itself has faced political pressure and legal challenges in recent years. While it remains active and operational for 2026, its long-term future is subject to congressional action. I will continue to cover any legislative developments that affect DV program availability. I want to close with something important. I know that for many of you watching this video, immigration is not an abstract policy topic. It is about your family. It is about a parent you want to bring closer, a child whose future you are trying to secure, a career you have spent years preparing for, a life you are trying to build. Immigration status touches everything: family unity, employment stability, financial security, and your long-term path to permanent residence and eventually citizenship. The decisions you make now, the forms you file, the status you maintain, the advisors you choose, all of it matters profoundly. And that is exactly why staying informed with accurate, verified, fact-based analysis is not optional. It is essential. If you want accurate, fast, and reliable immigration updates, subscribe to Raymond Crivello right now and turn on notifications. Immigration policy is changing rapidly, and staying informed is no longer optional. It's essential. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 3 pathways applies to your situation: EB-3, diversity visa, or H-2B. I read every comment, and your input shapes the topics I cover next. If you know someone trying to navigate their immigration options right now, share this video with them. It could make a real difference. And if this video helped you understand your options more clearly, hit that like button. It tells YouTube this content is valuable, and it helps this channel reach the people who need it most.